Ladies and gentlemen, get out your seats! Stand out your seats! Stand
Well,
up! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gamer Time Shows podcast. We're here, we're live, we're back. My name is Matt. This guy over here is Mr. Big Al Mocious. What's up, Big Al?
not much, Matt. How are you? It's good to be back with you. And we took a little bit of a break, but um, we just had to get some ideas ready, and we're back with you in a couple months. Well, I'm sorry, less than a month or so. We'll be doing our back to our weekly picks of the NFL. So we're
Yeah.
excited for that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If anybody's paying attention, we are one Hall of Fame game into the NFL preseason. And
Uh,
starting next weekend, we are going to have a whole bunch more to talk about, and that is some NFL football. Yeah. But before we dive into that, let's talk about something that's going on right now, actually. And that is our baseball teams actually making some good play. The Philadelphia Phillies are number one in the National League East. How do you feel about that, Big Al?
Are you asking me, Matthew, how I feel about the first place Philadelphia Phillies right now?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right. Well, it's been a quick turnaround, actually. I'm amazed of how well they turned it around, and they were down for a while, and then just like the hitting connected. Like I still think pitching can be a little better, even though the bullpen has done a better job, but still, like even tonight, they were up 5-0, and then in the ninth inning they give up three straight home runs. So you can't let that happen, type of thing. They still ended up getting the win, and just like I said, they're catching a 7 game win streak, and I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. And as long as Washington keeps helping out, and we keep on a roll with our hitting and everything, we're looking pretty good right now going into the last part of the season.
Yeah, there you go. There were quite the large amount of moves at the trade deadline, which was what, like a week ago. My Yankees were, definitely active, trading for Anthony
Yeah.
Rizzo, guys like that, and they have actually like those moves sparked something. I mean, they've been playing a lot better. I think they've only lost one or two games since the trade deadline last week, so they're on a nice little run here. They're playing the Mariners, I believe, right now, and they've won the first two games of that series. So they're, like I said, playing much better than they were. We're still about 5 or 5.5 games back of first, and like a game and like 4 games back of second. So we're third in the AL East, which is still a bit of a climb to do. We're not like the Phillies, making moves here,
Yeah.
but the Phillies didn't make any huge moves at the trade deadline. But in my opinion, ever since the All Star break, they've been just on fire for the second half of the season. So, is it like the emergence of I see Bryce Harper hitting better? Gene Segura is having a great season. Reese Hoskins is there as well. What do you like? What's the secret? You know what I mean? What do you think is the reason they have really sparked? Is it the late game
Um.
pitching? They've struggled with that.
Right. Like I said, it has been much better. I do think. I do think like maybe Girardi's got him kind of a stranglehold on him, and being like, okay, guys, here's our chance to climb in the division and just get off to a hot start. And after these, I don't think the trades did a whole lot, but I just think that they're I guess the chemistry is a lot better with them, and the hitting shows that right now. And looking at Bryce's numbers, for what he's making, he definitely needed to step up, and he's doing that
True.
right now. So it's good to see. And um, so that's my answer for the Phillies. Matt, what about your Yankees? What's the reason for their turnaround?
Yeah, I would definitely just have to say the recent trades, getting some new people in the clubhouse, sparking kind of like a, camaraderie type of thing going into the last two series. They really have just the new personnel. Rizzo has like, I'm pretty sure he's got like 3 home runs since being a Yankee in the last week, and just like has like a 8 game hitting streak or whatever that is since last week. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like a spark of the new players and the new camaraderie, and them gelling so quickly. I think that's just the reason. I mean, they were getting kind of stale, and I think that those moves really spiced it up. And hey, 5 games out, plenty of time. So we'll see. We'll see if they can make a run at the Red Sox, at the Rays. We'll see. So
even
yeah,
even not, there's still that wild card opportunity. So just keep fighting.
yeah, definitely. Um, so I want to switch over and talk about the National Basketball Association, because the last time we were on here, um, we it was before the conclusion of the NBA season,
Hmm.
and we were crowned a new champion, and that is the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Phoenix
Yeah.
Suns in 6 games. They had a great finish, winning 4 straight after being down 0-2. So Giannis getting all the accolades. How do you feel about the Bucks winning um, their first championship in like what 40 years or something?
Yeah, Matt, I I gotta say, I gotta be honest. After the first 2 games, I thought it was all Phoenix. I mean, just how they took the commanding 2-0 lead, and it's just like I thought everything was in their favor. But I mean, what turned it around obviously was the Greek Freak. I mean, this guy picked his game up in the last 4 games and made a statement saying, hey, don't forget about me. And they just buckled down and played good D against Chris Paul and all them guys. And they're a talented team. Don't get me wrong, with Booker and all those guys. But it was good to see Milwaukee win. Though, but especially with Giannis and him being from Greece, which is I'm Greek, so I kind of had to reform a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So it was exciting to see, and I think both teams will be in contention again next year.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I think the Phoenix Suns will be in contention next year is because they were able to re-sign their veteran point guard Chris Paul. So the Bucks win the championship, and
Yeah,
Giannis plays great. One of the most, one of the better finals. What's the word? One of the performances in history.
yeah,
Honestly, he was probably behind LeBron and Shaq and their great series and things like that. The numbers, were up there. Um, so moving past the championship and moving on to the first part of, well, no, I'm sorry, the second part behind the NBA draft would be
okay,
the off-season signings and free agency period. So, like I said, Chris
huh,
Paul re-signed with the Phoenix Suns. You got a sign and trade with the Toronto Raptors and the Miami Heat to get Kyle Lowry to the Miami Heat. You've got
yeah,
another, I believe it was a sign and trade with the New Orleans Pelicans and the Chicago Bulls to get Lonzo Ball to the Chicago Bulls. We've got another one, which I love, which is the Washington Wizards and the Los Angeles Lakers trading for Russell Westbrook to join LeBron James and Anthony Davis. to form a decent
Oh,
big three. Yeah, they're up
yeah,
there. Let's see what
yeah,
else. There was Miami making a couple of other solid moves. Andre Iguodala just recently went back to the Golden State Warriors, so that'll be
okay.
interesting to see again. Steph Curry just broke the bank once again for the second time. 4 years, I think it was just under $200 million. So that's just 49 million a year. So that's bonkers. Um, what
Yeah,
else? Dwight Howard decided to leave the Philadelphia 76ers after a year and come back to the Los Angeles Lakers for a third time. So that's interesting.
that's
Uh,
not a smart move by him. Not a
okay.
smart move by
Oh,
him.
really? Okay. Okay. So that'll be interesting. What is your what is your favorite move so far in the NBA free agency?
Um, hmm.
A little bit on the spot here. I apologize, but we'll see.
um, I think
Do you think it's
that's
like re-signing Danny Green? That was a big one because
for the Sixers. Yes,
he was looking elsewhere, so that was big to get him to keep him. You know what I mean?
right. Who was the other bigger name that went to Chicago as well? Not just Lonzo, but who was the other big name that went there?
From the Spurs, DeMar DeRozan.
Mark DeRozan.
Yeah.
Um, Matt, between that, him going to Chicago, making and building that team around them, playing with Zach LaVine and all them guys, I think that's going to be a lot better for them. And I think, despite age, I think Russell going to LA is a big move, especially in the West. Um, so it looks like you guys want to compete again. But you're gonna have to go through a bigger, tougher Western conference this year again, and I think everyone's got better from there. And as far as the East, um, I think I think everyone kind of stands where they're at right now. I don't see huge changes. I mean, you never know with Brooklyn how they're gonna react to getting bounced out by Milwaukee. So, and I don't know if the Sixers did enough right now between the draft and free agency to help them improve, and we still don't know what's the fate of Ben Simmons. So, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with those two, and one in the East to Chicago, and one in the West in Westbrook.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah. The Chicago Bulls have really improved. I mean, Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, and what you said, the guard. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. What's his name?
Levine,
Yes, Zach LaVine.
Levine.
Um, that'll be a very much improved team. I think that's a playoff team, in my opinion. Um, I think they'll struggle. Can they win a series? Possibly. I don't see them getting past the second round, but can they win one? Can they win a series? I think so. If they can get up to that 5 seed, maybe they could beat the 4 seed, something like that. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these teams fare because there's going to be a lot of changeover um,
Hmm.
going into next year, and it's going to be, oh boy, it's going to be fun to watch. I'll tell you. Um, okay, so now this is a topic that we have not hit on over the last dozen shows very often, and that is something that is in the title of our show, Gamer Time, and that is the gamer aspect. We I think we are kind of lacking as far as video games comes when it comes to our show, and I'm going to start it off with what are you playing right now? I've got a couple other topics as far as that goes, but Big Al, what are you playing right now?
Well, Matthew, as we've communicated throughout the past about hour or so, I, as you, am playing. The Show. And
Yes.
for all you guys out there who doesn't know what that is, The Show is actually a baseball game. So, I could do, a franchise with the Phillies or something, just for fun. But I decided to go the road to the show route, which you can create a player, go through the system. And right now, I wanted to do I wanted to create myself in every sports game and, just be Alex Mosius, but
Yeah.
met myself in the show. I'm only like 5'8", and I'm only like 160 pounds.
Right. Right.
So, and the show in baseball is all about home runs and the long ball. So with those statistics and height and weight, I don't see myself getting a lot of that. So instead, I went the other way and created a monster. I created a, a guy is Stare. Last name is Royd,
Okay.
and he's about 6'10", 200 and close to 300 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, hey, why not, get drafted by my favorite team in the NL and just be a powerhouse for the Phillies.
Right.
I got drafted by the Phillies,
Wow.
and I'm in Double A doing at the All Star break. I have 90 RBIs and 21 home runs.
Okay.
The week the week after the All Star break, Matthew, the team of my destiny decides to trade me to the Colorado Rockies.
Oh man.
I, 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 this came out of left field. I mean, I'm leading the league and I'm leading Double A in every category, and they want to trade me 2 weeks later. Are
Oh,
you kidding me? Oh, they're gonna pay for that.
unreal.
But so right now I'm in Double A with the Rockies organization, and eventually hoping to get traded out west. I'm not too happy.
Oh boy. Yeah. So I am also playing MLB The Show. Um, I'm struggling because okay. So first of all, I'm not 5'8". I am a bigger person than you, but I am 6'4", and I can create an athlete as far as my build that
Yeah.
would be acceptable in the professionals. But part of me loves authenticity and loves, kind of seeing real life rosters battle it out, and as far as any sports game. So I decided to keep the created player off and just go with the current player. Um, I like, as you said, the power and hitting homers and dingers and all that good stuff. So I went with Aaron Judge, and I just recently started a franchise with the Yankees, and I am player locked on Aaron Judge. So hitting homers with him, getting off to a great start, things like that. I've got about 7 home runs through 3 series. So through about 10 games, 7 homers. That's actually very good. So yeah, so off to a good start, but the win total not very good. I believe we're somewhere around 4-6, something like that. So my homers have not contributed enough to get the wins, but we'll see how it goes.
Matt, I forgot to mention in my steroid player.
Yeah,
Um, you know how you can do the commentary name, like they give you a nickname for, like, for being
yeah,
up
yeah,
at the
yeah.
plate.
Yep.
Um, I was actually trying to, be a a kind of a curveball here, and my I have two names at the plate, and it goes in this direct order: Blue Moon Jaeger.
Oh boy.
I
Blue Moon
somehow
Jaeger.
I yeah, somehow I found beer names and put the two together.
Okay.
So, and it's quite interesting, but
I mean, I like
continue.
both, so you know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. So now that we have talked about what we've been playing, I think, well, at least for me, I don't know about you, but for me, what you have you been playing lately? That's going to change soon. In about 2 weeks, we
Oh
have
boy.
the release of Madden NFL 22, and following, I believe, like a month later, NBA 2K22.
My gosh.
So, Big Al, let's
Yes.
ignore whether or not you're going to buy Madden day one or not. But if you were to have all the money in the world and you were just going to get them regardless right now, what is the first thing you would do on the new Madden 22? Would you dive into the newly improved franchise mode? Or are you a card collector? Would you play Ultimate Team?
Man, I gotta be honest. I'm not much of the Ultimate Team guy. Normally I start with franchise mode because, as you know, I love the portion of drafting players in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, looking at their scouting report, knowing what type of guy I'm looking for. I love doing that to start a franchise, and also Road to Glory, or Face of the Franchise as they call it. You know, kind of like that My Player mode type thing. That would be second to the franchise mode. So I would definitely dive in, starting a franchise and winning those Super Bowls. So that would definitely be something I'm looking forward to.
Okay. So then for me, I am more of a franchise player. Um, I am interested in the brand new, features as far as the franchise mode goes, because they added a lot more scouting stuff. They added a coaching carousel, and they added some more storylines as far as players being upset with playing time or whatever it is. So um, I'm excited to jump into that and just see how different it is, because I think that some of the other people on YouTube, content creators, guys like that, have really kind of, spiked up the, um, what's the word? The attention for the new game,
Yeah.
and really and the new franchise mode, and really kind of been pumping it up. And I look, don't get me wrong, those features are nice, like coaching carousel and things like that, and scouting and whatnot. Like that's great, but like I don't know. I think I was looking for more like so NBA 2K. They have a lot more off-season things in their franchise, and it's very very realistic because of all those things that you can do outside of the game. You know what I mean? Like you can scout, you can draft, you can go and you can look at like the upcoming college freshmen, the high school all-star game, things like that. And
Well.
all that stuff are, and you can choose the city for what next all-star game is going to be in, things like that. And
Mhm.
I kind of was hoping for more of that in-depth off the field things, like maybe um, maybe the Pro Bowl mini games thing that they started a couple of years ago, something like
Mhm.
that. That would have been pretty cool. Practice mode, college all star games, things like that. I think Madden 2007 had a college all star game in it. Um, so that was, things like that. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. See the new storylines. That's kind of something I'm looking forward to, just to see how dramatic it can get. Um,
Right. Have you heard, Matt, about any of the presentation? Like, as far as during season mode or something, like what halftime show is, what the Super Bowl show, like, or like how they present like Fox or CBS or like Monday Night Football or something like that. Have you heard anything about what they're doing with that?
So I think that they are going to roll over that halftime show that they had. I think it's going to be pretty similar as far as preseason, or I'm sorry, as far as presentation goes. Um, there's a guy I actually follow on Twitter who has been on his computer a lot and really knows how to do a lot of different things. And he really put in the time and effort and created um, an ESPN, a CBS, a Fox, and an NBC presentation around Madden NFL 21, and really kind of like said, "Hey, look at what the possibilities are. It looks great. He had all the different overlays and different stats that would pop up like you would see in Sunday Night Football on NBC, and just did everything for
Yeah.
all four TV companies and things like that. So last I heard, I
Wow.
think that guy got a job for EA Sports, and hopefully that pays fruition, and some of his presentation skills and his computer skills and things like that. He can bring that to the game. So maybe that won't be for 22, but maybe for 23 or 24, they can improve that stuff. So we'll have to see down the road. But as far as this year's game, 22, I think it'll be a lot of the same. I think they'll roll over with minor adjustments here and there. But yeah, it'll be something to look forward to. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ultimately looking forward to like the game, like if they can do game breaks in the middle of the season, like they do. They
Yeah.
just stop and go to another game as part
Yeah.
of a touchdown or something like that. I would love that.
Right. Or like a weekly wrap up show, like in 2K5 for NFL
Yep, I
2K5. Yeah.
remember.
That type of stuff is really cool, and that's kind of like the thing. It's still on field, but that's kind of like the thing where it's like it's a little bit off the field improvements. You know what I mean? Like just TV stuff
Yeah.
and practice stuff, things like that. That would be really cool. Maybe make like training camp a lot more in depth. That would be awesome. Um, have a lot more practice situations, things like that, and I know a lot of people don't like playing preseason games and things like that, but just have something a little bit more in depth and interesting. I don't know. It would be pretty cool to do something with training camp, I think. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the new game fares, and some of the new stuff. Um, I haven't heard too much outside of the cover athlete for NBA 2K22. That is Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
They're once again they're doing multiple athletes for multiple editions, but for the standard edition, it's Luka Doncic. So it'll be interesting to see the new features that they bring to NBA, because man, I don't know how much more you can put in that game, because to me it's got everything. In my opinion, I think it's got everything. So there isn't much more you can do, I don't think. But we'll see.
Yeah.
2K they're a great company, and they have a lot more coming for multiple games. I mean, there's the rumor of an NFL 2K game coming out within the next couple of years, so we'll see about that. One of the biggest rumors turned true is my favorite, which is EA Sports bringing back college football. I think that it won't be for 22 this year, but they're looking at a 23 game. So that will be, oh my god, they're gonna make so much money on that. It's gonna be insane. Like everybody's gonna buy that
Oh
game.
yeah.
Yeah. How
I
are you
agree.
feeling? how are you feeling about a college football, you know, like new edition?
Turn.
You know, we're gonna have a 4-team playoff, I'm sure. We're gonna have all the new stadiums, all the new logos, all the new uniforms, everything. Like I just imagine everything being updated. So,
Hmm.
how do you feel about that?
Man, I feel ecstatic. Like,
Yeah.
being you and I being two college football bonanzas, um, not only watching college football but playing it as well in 2013, I believe the last game was.
Yeah.
Um, I like what I would like to see. I is creating if they're adding all this stuff, I would like to see create a team like creating your own college,
Yeah.
kind of like how I forget what it was called, but you did it online, a
Yeah.
dynasty builder or something,
Right.
and but this time instead of having to do it online, you can just do it directly right in the game. Um, that should be interesting. The How the fans react. I want to see how the fans react in the game. That should be interesting, knowing it's a crazy atmosphere in every stadium.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, we look forward to that. And as as even with the college football, Matt, I can aim at another game that's coming out that most people have their doubts with because of how the last one came out. But and you and I are big fans into this a while ago, but and we had one episode dedicated to this, but WWE,
Yeah.
I believe it would be 2K22. I don't know what direction they're gonna go with that, but bringing back the legends and the attitude era, like that can be some high flying stuff. So, um, do you think you'd be interested in something like that?
Well, so um, you were right about 21. Not a lot of, or was it 20 or 21? I forget. But not a lot of people loved the most recent game.
20.
Uh,
It was 20.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, Not a lot of people love that game because it had a lot of issues, glitches and things like that, and just a lot of technical difficulties that I think got a lot of bad reviews, and it just never sold the way they wanted it to. Um, and I think because of that, they decided to change some of the management. Um, I don't remember which company it was, but as far as the development stages go, I know it's still 2K Sports, and I know it's still Take Two Interactive, but one of the other companies that are involved with the WWE games backed out. And so that is, I think, the reason for coming out with 2K Battle. What's the new game? 2K Battlegrounds, right?
There
Something.
is that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think because of that, they were up against the ropes, and they decided to come out with a more arcadey, um, less simulation style that we are used to over the last few years. So, um,
Yeah.
with the new game, 22, um, they have a new company and new management. So, like I said, 2K is still there, obviously. Take Two is there as far as a company, and it'll be interesting to see what that difference is. You know what I mean? Like, what are the changes that they're going to make to improve that game? Because back in their heyday, before it was 2K and it was SmackDown, those games were classics. Year after year, they were just amazing storylines that were being dished out. I think the one game that allowed you to download from the community created storylines, and you know what I mean. I forget what year that was, but that was great, man. I mean, you could dive into some guy who created 7 years worth of storylines and just play, and realize all these crazy scenarios that he created. You know what I mean? I think that is the key to the future of wrestling video games. Um, the ability to create your own storylines, because these companies who put out a game year after year, they put out like what, a year or two worth of storylines, and you play through that after what, a month, and you're done, and it's kind of like you can have fun in a few other areas, but like you kind of want more content. You know what I mean? You
Right.
kind of want that extra stuff. So I think with the community aspect, them being us, being able to create our own stuff and share it, and have, if I wanted to create a massive storyline centered around Goldberg and Brock Lesnar and post it so you can play it on your game, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. You know what I mean? Like that'd be awesome. So I think something like that is the key for WWE games, or wrestling games, whatever. And just make sure that you have all of those different abilities, matches and weapons and
I was gonna say the matches are definitely big too. Everyone's looking for more match types,
yes,
which they normally have the ones, and I think even in 2K20, you can create your own match, but there's still some limitations there. But if you can have unlimited limitations and more matches like they did in the old school wrestling, I think it'd be a lot more entertaining as well.
okay. So here's the thought. Um, NBA 2K20, I think it was like 19 or 20, started the first um, city almost. You can go out, you can walk around, you can hit different shops, you can play pickup games, you can do all these different things, right?
Yeah.
I'm envisioning something like that for the WWE games, where you can go out of the arena and fight wherever you want. You don't have to make it like a whole gigantic city, but like make it a couple streets worth. Go a
Yeah.
couple of buildings, a couple of different shops that you can destroy. Something like that. That'd be awesome. So
Oh, absolutely.
that's 2K. You know what I mean? You've already got that ability under the umbrella. You know what I mean? Like you can use that as a company. So I think it would be interesting to see a WWE game with that ability to create that kind of open world atmosphere. You know what I mean? That would be really cool. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Is there anything else as far as video games that you are looking forward to? Is there a random
Um,
game here and there?
well, Matthew, I know we're all about the sports games and whatnot, and I know you've definitely played some other ones that are outside of the sports world, but that's something that I'm trying to aim for as well. You know, I know I've mentioned you before, but like for the PS5, the graphics on Call of Duty, like I'm not the biggest Call of Duty fan, but just for the looks, and I'm sure there's a lot of other games just like it, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how it is on the new system, and um even if I am playing Call of Duty, it's just I can't, those graphics are amazing, and the gameplay is unbelievable, especially online. I know so many people play online, but I'm looking forward to like the graphics wise of a lot more non-sports games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. I think that Call of Duty, that's Activision, and they are extremely talented. I mean, their graphics are just off the charts, because the last couple of Call of Duty games, like those trailers that they release, I mean, you watch those things and it's like you're right behind them. You're ready to shoot. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. It's those things are nuts, man. Um, the streamers love that Warzone stuff, but I watch them every once in a while. It's cool to see too. But I'm with you on that. I'm not exactly the biggest first-person shooter kind of guy. I'm more of that like third-person action adventure. Tomb Raider. You know what I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uncharted is one of my favorites, and obviously Last of Us. That was an incredible series. I mean, that second game, if you haven't played it yet, man, it's insane. But yeah, that's gonna wrap us up here. It was nice to see a little bit more talk as far as the video games goes. I know that the sports world is a heck of a lot around the clock. I mean, all year round, around the calendar, around the clock, everything. It's a lot to keep up with. So we're big sports fans in all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, all of it. So Gamer Time Shows loves to hit on as many of those topics as we can, but we're also video game lovers, and we like to play games. So we're trying to bring everything to you guys, and so that'll wrap us up. Gamer Time Shows podcast. We are back. New layout here. Enough information down below YouTube, and down there is the Twitter account, all that good stuff. So, everybody, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and keep up, because I would like to keep this thing going. I've got a lot more to say. So, yeah. Big Al?
Thank you, Matthew. As you said, just find you followers out there. Just keep spreading the word of us, and hey, we're here to have fun. I don't expect us to go pro, but this is why we brought it to you, for entertainment and love of the sports world, and whether it's reality or virtual reality. So thank you for being with us, and as we said, the NFL is coming up pretty quickly. And we're major football fans, so we'll bring you that, and maybe a few surprises in there as well. So have fun, stay with us, and be safe.
100%. All right, everybody.
Peace.